Okay, I got an interesting topic on that Durant Tatum note.
Yeah.
If Jason Tatum completes this comeback, right, and they go on to their second NBA Finals appearance, is his tenure in Boston, his early career, officially more successful than Kevin Durant's career in OKC?
I did. I mean, does he win a chip?
Even if he loses, he goes
If he
over there and he gets
loses,
swept in
but
the
like,
finals.
well, let's
But like
pick
that
one. Pick
matters.
one. Pick one.
If
Pick
he
Let's
one.
look at it.
wins, if he wins, absolutely.
Yeah, but
If
even
he
if he
wins,
loses,
absolutely.
two
If he
finals appearances to Kevin Durant's one in 2012. He never got back there after, right?
Okay.
Durant has the MVP, right? They both have been in multiple conference finals.
Yeah.
They both had deep playoff runs.
Yeah.
They both flamed out in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
Jason Tatum got there twice in back-to-back seasons.
But is it Jason Tatum that's getting there?
He's gonna get the
He
credit
is the one.
rightfully.
He
He
is
does
the-
have a great
Is he
team.
the one getting them there though?
Did he underperform in certain series? Sure. In certain games, yes. He is the one.
Is he or is he not getting all the credit for everything good and not getting any hate for anything bad that happens?
He is, right? He is, and I do agree. But
Are we
also,
going to talk about that 31 points last night being already crazy talked about,
6
being a
points
crazy
in the second
performance,
half.
and he had 15 points on free throws and
6
6
in the
points in the
second
second half.
which were probably half of those, or maybe all of them were free throws. But listen,
So half his points are free throws.
if he doesn't get his fourth quarter in Game 6 versus the Sixers, we're done. If he doesn't score 51, Game 7 finals, Game
Last
7
year
record
against Milwaukee, game
No.
6 on the
46.
road.
Yeah,
I would
he did.
Okay, I would say the game 751 was not needed to win though. That game was
Come
over.
on, though. You gotta
Come
you
on,
gotta
he
give your
broke the
flowers.
game
Well,
open
he
in the
was
third
just
quarter.
hucking
that's a
shots, bro.
Yeah,
rep.
but
he was
he
hucking
broke
shots at the end.
Game, Sully. The most
He-
points ever
yes.
in game
He
No, but he
broke-
was just hucking
You
them
gotta
at
give
the
him
end.
Listen,
Though.
can we
But
listen?
the game was already over when he scored 20 of them.
No, bro. The third quarter, he took over the game. It was a close game, and he took it over. Right? He probably scored like 20 in the third. That blew it open.
You
If it wasn't
gotta
for those
give
two
him his
performances,
due.
we're going home.
You give him his
I've
due,
given him enough dues,
but the issue.
but I'm
I
getting
understand
sick of all the no
the issue
hate
is the
that the guy gets.
inconsistency. Yeah, and this is the same thing last year when they beat the Heat in 7 on the road in Miami. He won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and he got pedestalized. There was no
Yep.
talk about Brown, right? No talk about how Jaylen Brown was right there. It wasn't a 1-2 situation in that
It
series.
was a 1A,
It
1B.
was a
1-1,
1A,
yeah.
1B. And then they got to the finals and Jaylen Brown outplayed him.
Yeah,
Yes.
If
absolutely.
Tatum had shown up, they win that series and Brown
Yeah.
probably wins finals MVP.
Yeah. Even if he has an average
Most
series.
likely, yeah.
If he had average efficiency, instead of shooting 37% and 30% from three, if he just shot 44%, they win a championship.
So it's like you love him for like a quarter, two, or for like a half, or for like a few games in a series, but then he has those games or those halves where it's just like he's literally you don't even notice him.
And what
And if
halves
you're
are
an
they?
all NBA for it's usually the second half and the fourth quarter.
Listen, man,
Usually.
I said this
Usually.
right around his first season, his rookie year, and definitely that second season. His peak on some nights, he is Kevin Durant some nights. But his floor is literally Rudy Gay. He turns into a passive. You wouldn't even notice he's on the court. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice he's on the court.
He's a waste of space if
Settling.
he's not scoring.
Yes, pretty
He
much.
is.
He's a good defender. He's a great defender.
Yes, he's a great
He
defender.
can play
yes.
make a little
He's
bit,
good
you know what I'm
defender.
saying? But at the end of the day, to be in that top tier, the superstars of this game, Jokic, Giannis, what do? They impact the game every quarter for an entire series.
And they want the ball.
And that's what it takes.
I
You
will
can
give
go
him
look
props
at
for
all
this,
these
though.
greats. Go ahead.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
No, all I'm
I
saying
just
is
want to say
all right, you can't cut me out twice. That's
sorry, bro. Sorry.
All
It's
right,
such a shitty point. It's such a stupid point to just go ahead. It's such a useless point. Sorry.
Listen, man, you look at all the greats, even today, we don't have to go back in time, but you look at Jokic, you look at Giannis, you look at
Double.
going back, Bird, Magic, Jordan, Kobe.
Impactful
It's
triple-doubles, too.
consistency every playoff game. You can rely on them. And to be honest with you, I love Jason Tatum. You don't know. If I told you right now, game 7, he's going to shoot 3 for 14 and we're going to get blown out by 40, you would believe me.
Yeah.
He's been better in elimination games. I'll give him that. He has been.
He has
Like-
been, but what was yesterday? It was another situation where he was not
In the second
anywhere
half,
present
yeah.
in the second half.
In the
again.
second half.
But let me tell you
First
something.
half,
Let
solid,
me-
though. He was spectacular.
Oh,
You
he
gotta
was
admit that.
great.
He
Yeah.
was-
Besides the 15 free throws that have his point.
I mean,
But-
but to be 100% at the line too, taking the. I mean,
Yeah.
that was.
I mean, he's a great scorer. That's not arguable. He's a great scorer, and I don't know which one of you said it, but you said it, Carmen. He has a good bag. I mean, he has a top tier bag. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Mid range, three.
But I'm saying
dodging-
if it comes down to it, and my star player doesn't want the ball in the fourth, or maybe he wants the ball, but he's not being advocate about it and going and get the ball, I would be very upset.
Dude,
Listen,
if you gave him Jimmy Butler's mentality,
that's
though,
what
like
I was about to say. That's what I was going to bring up.
If you
missing
gave him
something.
Jimmy Butler's closer mentality, he's the best player in the league.
Yeah,
Or up there with
he's up there,
Giannis.
100%.
Like it's
Definitely
more
up
of a
there.
discussion, no
The
question.
talent is there.
He's
Listen,
definitely up there. He'd be in the top 5 without a doubt if he had mentality.
this is also another reason why the
That's for
Celtics
another-
are so
that's-
trash.
that's
They
another
have the best
discussion.
roster
He's
in the
not
league.
top 10 right now.
They
Continue.
have the best roster in the league, and they were down 0-3 to an 8 seed. And there's literally one reason. We don't have that dog. We don't have a leader really on the team. If Marcus Smart is your vocal leader and he's not one of your 3 best players, that's an indictment on Jason Tatum. He's got to be.
Williams.
You look at or Grant Williams. Those are the vocal dudes saying we got to do this, we got to do that. Smart has more of a give me the ball mentality than JT. It's sad to say. He's a passive guy.
Shot.
Look at who are the passive great players in the league today. Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. And there's questions about them.
Is Kawhi passive or is he just quiet though?
Yeah, but he doesn't
have
that
Kawhi wants that ball at the end of the game though.
Yeah,
so
he does.
I don't know if he's passive.
I'm talking about the leadership part. Nobody will tell you Kawhi's a great leader.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
And
vocally. Vocally, but he leads
by
example.
Yeah, he leads by example. Yeah, but you could say Jason Tatum leads by example.
He can't get a team
hyped. But here's the thing, dude, and I'll bounce off because you brought up a good point about how he's not the fucking like. When you talk about guys like fucking Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic, you saw Jokic in the last series against Phoenix on the bench, showing emotion, screaming at his teammates, firing up the huddle. That's one criticism I have of Jason Tatum that pisses me off. You're the one. You're an all-NBA first-team player. You're a generation. I don't know if you're generational talent, but you're a great talent. Bro, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Al Horford, a 37-year-old Al Horford is more vocal. Those guys set the tone more than that guy does. I feel in the huddles in the locker room, for as great of the player as he is, he's just not that born leader. And honestly, when you get to the finals, you get to these Eastern Conference finals, shit like that, little shit like that, it starts to show up. It may not show up in the regular season. You can win 57 games, 60 games easily in the regular season without being a fucking, without being that hard-nosed leader, without being that Jimmy Butler or that fucking Michael Jordan or Kobe or D Wade or LeBron. But when the margins shrink and it's the finals and you're playing Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, those guys, and you're going up against Jimmy Butler, even though they're an 8 seed, like that shit matters then. Like you don't want Marcus Smart to be the fucking guy everyone is looking to.
That's crazy.
You can't have your leader not be your best player. It can't be a role player because at the end of the day, the best players on the team, you see it. Smart doesn't. Jaylen Brown and Tatum don't respect Smart when he's fucking talking. He's not as good as them. But you look at all the greats. There's a clip of Giannis in the 21 finals yelling. They're down 0-2. He's yelling at the bench. I'm not losing this shit. There's a clip of fucking LeBron yelling at KCP. I pass you the ball. You shoot that motherfucker.
No,
Tatum doesn't have that in him,
bro. We saw him rolling his eyes at the end of the bench. Game 3 in Miami.
Game 3,
when they were getting blown out. He's rolling his eyes at the end of the bench.
Hey,
he's not high-fiving his coach at the end of wins and stuff. If he's not showing respect if your top player is not showing respect to the coach, this happened to us in Miami last year with Jimmy and Eric getting in a fight. But it happens, and then people start they lose respect for their top player. It's happening now with Jason Tatum. If he's not respecting the coach, then how is anybody else on the team going to respect the coach?
He just feels like a Gen Z. He feels like a Gen Z superstar. That's what he feels. That's what he feels like.
He's a diva.
Uber talented.
He actually is a diva, bro. Even on the court, he's a diva.
Wicked talented, great player. He just doesn't have that fucking that it.
He thinks he deserves it instead of going to get it himself.
He's doing all the endorsements, all the off the court stuff. He's with LMA, whatever her name is, at fucking Draymond Green's little party. he's got a baby mom and a kid over there. He's got a shoe deal. That's all great. But
great, star.
I don't get that when you watch Jimmy Butler and it's in fourth quarter hits and there's 12 minutes on the clock, or there's fucking 4-3, like last night when there's 3 or 2 minutes on the clock and the time's dwindling down, you're like, it's Jimmy time. Is that ever the conversation with Tatum? No. Is it ever
it is, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. When the Celtics are up 10 points or more, and there's 2 minutes left in the game, then go, you know what? This is probably Tatum time.
I didn't see that last night, though. Even not even last night. I didn't see it, though.
But that's what I'm saying, because the pressure was still too high at that point. Because even in his mind, he's not that confident to go get the ball. He celebrates when other people hit shots, bro. He can't do it himself.
We saw it on the court last night. It was blatant. In the fourth quarter, Jimmy Butler wanted the ball. He was 3 for 19 and shot a step back 3-pointer, and you knew it was going in. Meanwhile, Tatum literally did nothing for the final 4 minutes. You can't give any superstar in this league, Giannis, Jokic, a 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go in an elimination game, and you blow it. How do you do that? Meanwhile, Jimmy on the other end is attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line, making 3-pointers, even though he's 3 for 19. That takes fucking big stones.
And listen, bro. That takes balls.
You can't talk around it. There's a point I need to address. Similar scenario in Miami in that arena. LeBron misses a 3-pointer. Bosh gets the rebound, kicks it back out to Allen. He makes the 3. What is the narrative from that shot? Do you guys know?
I know too, but Ray Allen saved LeBron's career.
Yep.
And LeBron missed one of the biggest shots of his life.
Yep. Nobody says he had 16 points in the fourth quarter and hit the 3 to make it
right before it.
Yes, to make it a close game, right? Jason Tatum had the same scenario, except he was fucking scoreless in the fourth. Basically, the same scenario. His legacy just got saved, but that narrative is not out there.
Would people have said anything if it happened?
No, because want to know why? Because he scored 31 and 11, and they were showing that stat, bro.
Yeah, they were.
He passed Larry Bird for most 30-10 elimination.
No one cared that he almost lost in the series.
LeBron had like 36 in that game too. So it's not about the stats.
Listen, I'm agreeing. Listen, we're all on the same page here, man. He is coddled. Yeah. He's coddled. Yeah. I'm not even talking about the coddled. Like the NBA wants to cast him in a good light. Like I see people, like the hate for him has been going up. They're starting to realize they see the inconsistency on Twitter and shit. Like people calling him up. But like the league, he's all NBA first team. He's the pretty boy. He just got his shoe deal. He signed to Jordan.
Third in jersey sales.
Promote him.
Exactly. Yeah. The NBA wants to cast him in a good light, and that's what they're going to. That's not. Listen, they don't want to do that with Jaylen Brown. He's not the kind of superstar in terms of marketing that Jason Tatum is. So he's always going to get the praise, dude. He could score fucking 30 in the first half and score 0. Goose egg. He had a fucking few games earlier in the series. How many games did he go without scoring a field goal in the fourth quarter?
His first points in game 4. His first field goal.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. The first 3 games he didn't score.
So you could argue that was the reason.
Could you imagine
all 3 games they lost?
Could you imagine if LeBron James had done that? If Giannis had done that?
Yeah, dude.
Nikola Jokic had done that?
He did that. And he's scrutinized to this day.
2 home playoff games in the East. I'm not even counting the third one on the road. 2 when they got blown out. 2 home playoff games. You lose both.
And they have a lead in late in the game.
And you didn't score 1 field goal in either of the games.
Yeah.
And people just seem to forget about it.
With the lead going into the fourth.
It's just difficult. Like I want to like the guy, but then it's like every other night it seems like I'm back to fucking criticizing him.
Yeah, man.
It's just tough, bro. He's just like, obviously as a non-Celtics fan, I just as a basketball fan, I don't really I liked him coming into the league. I loved him in college. I wanted the Celtics to take him back when I enjoyed watching the Celtics. But it's literally, my hatred just grows every single year because the people literally dick ride into the max all the time. And it's these fans make it look like he's the next coming of LeBron and MJ, but better than both of them. And then they don't show any stats of when he plays bad. It's only if he plays good. All of my Instagram feed and Twitter feed is Tatum. He plays horrible. I don't see anything. I see Jaylen Brown airball the 3. That's what I was seeing a bunch. And how Jaylen Brown missed 5 threes or something like that. Oh, how did Tatum not score a point in the fourth quarter? Why is that not even on a single thing besides specific podcasts that I watch talk about it?
Listen, when he didn't take shots in the fourth quarter, it was criticism on Brown and criticism on the coach. Nobody was like, why is this dude not calling for the ball if he's supposed to be the best player on the team? And let's cut to the chase.
Mazzulla has caught more heat in his first year as a coach than Tatum has in his entire career there.
Listen, man.
Yeah, yes.
This guy went scoreless in the fourth quarter, 3 straight games, and put his team in an 0-3 hole, right? Nobody brings that up. Meanwhile, you look across in the West, the Lakers get swept in a close series, and LeBron and AD fail to close, and they're getting
this guy just had to fucking make it about the Lakers.
I'm comparing. No, hold on. I'm comparing criticism. Who has been more criticized for not closing games? A 38-year-old playing on a torn tendon or Jason Tatum in his prime?
Every single person besides Tatum.
Is that not a fair point?
No, it's a fair point.
That's a fair point, right?
Correct point.
I mean,
that's 2 series going on at the same time.
So the only thing I saw.
So there's a difference there. They got swept though.
Yeah,
They got
what do you mean? They were down. I'm talking about
He's talking when it was
talking about the
03.
entirety of the
first three
season.
games.
He's talking when it
No.
was 03 for both.
I'm talking about 03 for both teams.
After the third game for both games, there was not a single thing about Tatum. It was just
And they were cooking LeBron for not closing.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, but at the same time, bro, I mean, like LeBron is the most loved and he's the most hated. Like you just have to accept that.
Yeah, he is.
He's the most loved. When he wins, he gets all the praise. When he loses, he takes the heat. Like you know what I mean?
But it's
I agree
also
to an
it's always
extent.
going to be
I agree to an
magnified with
extent.
him.
Yeah,
It's different. He's different.
Yes,
but that shows just the
he's up to
stupidity of sports fans.
I
That's
agree.
all I'm saying. This guy's in his prime.
We're not in the best area.
hatred.
We're not in the best area to be surrounded by sports fans, and not a lot of people aren't going to like this clip. But
Yes, that's
being from
true.
Boston, it is very tough.
Bro, we're
because
unbiased,
a lot of these people, yes, we are, but we are from Boston, and every single person that I am surrounded by, besides you two, are Boston everything. You ask them best player of all time, they're probably going to throw Larry Bird or Bill
Bid.
Russell in there.
Larry Bid.
It's and now if you ask the best player in the league, they will say Tatum. You tell them to name your top five, I guarantee it'll be the starting lineup. That's just how people around here are. You can't have a civil conversation, and they're always going to praise whoever scores the last basket of every single game. That's just who this place is.
Recency bias is strong in Boston.
They don't watch a single game in the regular season. As soon as their sports teams get in the playoffs, they become the biggest fans.
Listen, I hate to harp on the Celtics, bro, because I know you're a Heat fan, so but I just gotta say one more thing about this whole Tatum leadership thing. Mehdi, you said this too about how the Celtics have failed to close games throughout the season, even in the regular season. They blew leads. They blew like a 25-point lead to Brooklyn. They've blown leads to like Houston.
They lost to Orlando 3 times.
They've been blowing leads. They had leads against
Orlando.
Miami. Didn't they lead 2 games at home against Miami by at least 10 both games?
Yes. Game 7 last year.
Last game almost too.
Game 7 last year.
Who gets the heat for that? It's usually Marcus Smart. It's usually Missoula. They talk about collective, the team.
Brown.
Why doesn't, bro? To me, the number one guy, the first finger should be pointed at Tatum. He's the one. He's the guy. He's the leader. He's the guy in the locker room talking. If that's something that keeps happening over and over again, and that's an issue that everyone knows about, that the media harps on, that everyone in that locker room knows about, you should be the guy addressing it. You should be the guy solving it. Off the court and on the court. Give me the fucking ball. I'm the best player on this team. Let me close the fucking game. Let me close these games, especially in the playoffs. Home playoff games.
Can I contrast that?
I don't. But it bothers me so much how they put it on Missoula. Those guys are out there playing on the court. I watched them. Watch them in those last few minutes. They get complacent. They settle. The ball movement starts. The pace slows down.
It's not even a Missoula issue yet.
They're trying not to lose instead of trying to win anymore.
This has been going on for years.
It's the timeout situation that people, I understand. It's true. The timeouts, I get it. Yes, the timeouts make sense. I'd be mad about him not calling timeouts. But you have to understand exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is you have to understand that he is calling timeouts now, and you're seeing the same situation happen.
It's not
why is your star player not getting the ball when a team's coming back from down 13 points?
He doesn't want the ball. That's it.
And you know who does? You know who does? Every single role player on that team.
And Jimmy Butler wants the ball.
That's what I was going to say. How come Jimmy Butler gets all the hate after having a great end of the game? He will always get the hate because he's our star player. So I'm okay with him getting the hate as a Heat fan. I understand he played bad, but I'm saying every game, Carm. I'm saying every game. No, because he's the best player, he gets the finger pointed, which I agree he should because it starts with him.
Right.
But how come the Celtics are the only team in the league where their star player isn't the one that gets the finger pointed to?
Listen, because he's the fucking golden boy. But dude, the thing about Butler, bro, like 5 for 21 that has to be criticized. 100%. I have nothing but respect for the guy.
Yeah,
like Mehdi was talking about what he did at the end.
Crazy,
dude. He could have missed. Like, if he was 15 for 15 up to that point, he's feeling. He's going to continue to shoot. He was 3 for 16, 3 for 19 at that point, and he kept fucking shooting, pull up threes, drawing fouls in the corner, going to the rim. That's commendable. Like although he didn't have a great overall game and he was sluggish, towards the start and the middle of the game, like there's always respect. He always earns your respect to close out games, dude. That's one thing about Butler that he's the fucking.
And he wasn't even doing great from the free throw line, and then he hit all 3.
Yeah, so I mean, like, listen, he gets his due respect, man. Like I got nothing but respect for Jimmy.
100%. He gets a lot of love, which I definitely appreciate. He gets a lot of love from every single sports city. But what I'm saying is that I was just using him as an example that every other team in this league, their star player gets the finger pointed at them first. And if it isn't their fault, then they'll go down. They'll go down. But it starts here and then goes down. It's Tatum, you played fine because you had 30 points and over half of them were free throws. Everyone else, we're going to have to think about cutting, we're gonna have to trade.
Marcus Smart.
Start from the beginning and keep
Jaylen
Tatum.
Brown.
Smart is definitely more criticized in Boston than Tatum is, and so is Jaylen Brown. But the truth about this is the clutch time issues has been plaguing the Celtics since at least the bubble. At least this is the fourth season going on. And it's not about coaching because we had 3 different coaches, right? It's not about coaching. It's about the players. And they play a certain way to get up, right? Team basketball, the ball is moving. And as soon as they get up, Tatum and Brown looking for their stats, trying to get into ISO. Smart, who is not even the 3rd best player on the team, truly believes he's the best player on the team. I think he believes that.
He makes
late in the game, he thinks it's like time for me. It's my time. So you got these 3 egos clashing, right? And it just fucking brings the team down. We have not been able to close a game in 3 straight playoff runs, 4 straight playoff runs. And that's what cost us. Now, if we do,
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, if we do win this series in Game 7, it has to be a blowout. If it's a close game, we're not going to win. And that was proven last night because we were up and the game got close and we lost the game. We know that game was over. We lost it. If it wasn't for Derek White fluky tipping where it bounced his way and he tipped it in, our season is over.
Can I say this as well? First off, Marcus Smart's overachieved, I think, in terms of offensive
100%.
performance.
In this series, for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This series. So I will give him his due. Bro, I hate how people this is the issue last year during the finals run with Tatum too. They act like Tatum's with what year was that with LeBron in Cleveland? Was that 07 when they played the Spurs in the finals? They act like this is his that's the fucking situation here. He's carrying a bunch of bumps. He has the best built team around him. Mm-hmm. He has no excuse but to win. So the fact that he's still being excused with the team that's around him, with guys like Derek White, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon when he's healthy, still delivering around him, all these role guys, and then the guys alongside him too, to have a 2 like Jaylen Brown, who's not even really a 2 but a 1B, bro. And even Grant Williams has been playing well this series. The guy has more than enough help.
So he's losing to a team of 7 undrafted. He went down 0-3 to a team of 7 undrafted players.
The question needs to be asked.
I don't know an excuse.
Listen, the question needs to be asked, and I might look like a fool for asking it if they end up winning the championship. But the question needs to be asked: do we have 2 number 2s on our team? Is that the reason we can't get it done?
I've said that from the beginning, but I do think here's the thing. It is. I'm going to say that in my eyes, they're 2 number 2s because I wouldn't trust either of them to take a team of bums to a championship.
I agree.
Or anything.
I agree as well.
If you put a bad team and either of them were the 1, I can't see them making it to the conference finals. But I don't think Tatum can be a number 2. I don't think that's physically possible for him.
I agree. If you put him with another star,
cannot play with another star besides.
I don't think
even him and Jaylen Brown, I think, are button heads. They want to act like they're not, but they are.
I think Jaylen Brown wants to be a 1 as well. I think he want to go to Houston, be a 1, go to Atlanta.
He will too.
Trae Young there.
I'm telling you right now, even if they win the championship, Jaylen Brown's leaving. As much as people want it, I'm being honest.
He get the max though. He get the super max though.
They're gonna have to pay him, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, they're gonna
have to pay him. He'll leave.
If they give him the super max, I understand. I mean, he's getting money.
But here's the thing with Tatum.
But I don't think
he has the talent to be the 1, bro.
Tatum
has the talent.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
to be the 1. It's sort of like vice versa. It's sort of like Jaylen Brown, who's wicked talented, is more athletic, but in terms of skill, Tatum probably has more skill. He's probably got more of the skill of a 2, but Jaylen Brown has the mentality and the dog of a 1. Mm-hmm. It's kind of flipped. So they're both sort of meddling in that 2.
If they were built together, they'd be unbelievable basketball players.
Yeah, but the truth is about even Brown. I mean, we see it late in the game. Neither of them want the ball.
Dribbling off his full.
I don't know. I think I think Jaylen Brown wants it, and he doesn't get any single plays called for him.
Yeah, he doesn't. No, I agree. He doesn't get plays called for him. But even then, I've seen it countless times. He just gives the ball to Tatum. And maybe the coaches are telling him, but he doesn't want the ball and give me the ball. And it's also a part they both can't dribble. So you can't even fucking trust them to get a shot off.
Yeah, it's true.
I think he also feels like he doesn't I think with Tatum being there, he also doesn't want to be that guy that sort of fucking shows him up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he sees Tatum not calling for the ball. He sees Tatum not trying to, So it's he feels like maybe he's not worthy.
Then you see Marcus Smart calling for it.
Yeah. Marcus Smart has that hero syndrome where he just wants to be he wants to play hero ball. But listen, he's played excellent. And when he sits in the corner, he camps the corner, he makes those threes. And when he makes those defensive plays, he scores in the post. That's great.
Yeah.
When he's not being an inefficient shot chucker. But the issue with that team, bro, is they were saying it down the stretch. Derek White said it. They try not to lose more than they try to win. It's guys being passive. And when your two best players are being passive down the stretch,
exactly.
You're
They're both number twos, man. They're both scared to get the ball at the end of the game.
Hey, here's what I was gonna say though.
Last night.
Here's what I was gonna say though.
Stepped up.
Jimmy Butler's
Don't you
passive
think,
for a lot of the game, bro. But those last fucking 3
yeah,
minutes, he's not passive.
He's been passive the last 3 games, but I don't see him doing that in game 7.
But I'm saying those last 3-4 minutes, he's not passive.
No,
Like something switches.
I guarantee you,
I don't see that.
He wants to win more than anybody
Butler's
out
taking
there.
25 shots next game. I guarantee you that.
He'll take 15
unless
shots
they get blown out. Unless they get blown out and punched early in the game and they're up 20,
won't let them get blown
he
out.
will shoot the ball 20 to 25 times.
Can I say this though?
He won't let them get blown out.
I think like in a game 7 on the road, Butler's gonna get his. I feel like he's gonna put up his. Scares me more than him. Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, and Max Strus. Like those guys are some of the streaky shooters in the league. And if you're not in their fucking back pocket constantly, like I know Duncan Robinson missed a couple open threes, but like you can give Jimmy his fucking 30 or 40 as long as you hold those guys in check. If you let Caleb Martin go for 20 and Duncan Robinson gives you 4 or 5 threes and Max Strus gives you 3-4 threes and Gabe Vincent, that's where you get fucked up. Like Jimmy, like I feel like that sort of has to be like let Jimmy, I don't know though. Is it let Jimmy get his and keep those other guys in check? Or is it keep run those guys off the 3-point line and focus on Jimmy? Like it's fucking
Jimmy is at his best when he's playing basically the point forward and he's scoring and playmaking. That's when he's gonna kill you. That's how he beat the Celtics in the bubble. That's how he dominated the Lakers in the bubble title, the Mickey Mouse Championship, right? That's what he's gonna do. So the best way to guard them, we saw the script in Game 5. You have to pressure their ball handlers, and you have to get out and contest 3 balls. And you have to dominate the glass.
over screens, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just fucking. It comes down to if it's a close game late, who's gonna make the place.
And it's also does Jimmy get hot early? If Jimmy is 50% from the field after the first quarter, and
we're in
over
trouble.
10 points,
Look,
he's gonna dominate the rest of the game. That's just
he
who
did
he is.
come out slow last game.
Because then they're gonna double team him. Then the ball gets moved to one of our 3
and now they start making 3-pointers. Yeah, exactly. Look at Game 6 last year. That was the best performance I've ever seen versus the Celtics in my life.
Yeah.
Who stepped up to Jimmy? They watched him dominate Tatum and Brown. That's what I'm talking about, and they did not want it. They didn't want it. It's like a big dog showed up and they didn't want any smoke.
On the road, too.
People
forget about that, bro. They had a chance to close that series out last year.
Yes.
At home in the Garden. Go back to
Jimmy
the
stepped
finals,
up,
bro.
dominated them.
Back in the finals since what?
2010. And
2010.
Jimmy dominated.
Chance to go to the finals at home.
And
they got beat by one guy.
Yeah. And what happened in Game 7? The same shit happened last night.
That's why, bro.
Almost got beat by one guy.
As a Celtics fan, I want the momentum is there going back home. Bro.
They have to blow them out.
This just happened last year. They just lost last year in a closeout game at home.
Listen, man, it's not even about that.
2-1 series as well in Boston for the Heat.
Listen, we have to win in a blowout because we see what the fuck happens. Even if you have a 10-point lead late in the game, they can come back. And remember Game 7 last year? Don't forget, we were up 10, 12, 13 points on the Heat with like 2 minutes to go, and they go on a fucking run that ends with Jimmy Butler with 8 seconds left, shooting a pull-up 3 to win the series. And that just happened last night. The same shit. We're up double digits with 4 minutes to go, and it ends with Jimmy Butler shooting free throws to win the series. That is not a team that's going to walk into the finals and beat Jokic.
Till you pass it.
Beat Murray.
Till you pass it.
I always say this, bro. A 5-point lead against the Heat feels like a tie game. And when you're down by 5, it feels like you're down 10. No, but because you know Jimmy Butler is going to be like Jimmy Butler's always there down the stretch. You don't know if you're going to get anything from the Celtics like last night. So like a 10-point lead, like even though they were up 10, and obviously the lead dwindled, but you never felt comfortable because you know it's the same shit over and over again.
And I felt confident the whole time.
If they're not going into Game 7 at home up by like shit, I feel like they got to be up like almost double digits going into the fourth. Like 12 minutes is too long for them to sustain a lead.
Yes, because they're gonna go into let's not lose mode and blow the lead. Listen, we just did like 60 minutes on the Celtics, and like every clip that we just said will be useless in 24 hours.
That's what I was just about to say, bro. I was thinking the same thing. They literally play less than
Yeah, so like every clip that we have is going to be useless. I think
We
we
should
just
have done
wasted
more
now.
like
That's bro.
general
It's not going to be
questions.
useless, bro.
It's
Gonna
gonna be
done
useless.
more
What do you
like-
mean?
All right. Do a general question. Go ahead.
We have 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
Who would you rather?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I was
over
just about to
Tatum.
say him or
I'd rather
Donovan
him over
Mitchell
Tatum.
or Donovan Mitchell. SGA or Donovan Mitchell for
Well,
their
SGA.
entire career. SGA.
SGA.
I'm taking.
I was
Donovan
gonna
Mitchell.
say SGA over Tatum too.
I'm taking Donovan Mitchell.
Listen, I love SGA. I think he has a high ceiling. I think he could be a great player in this league. I don't buy stock into players until I see them perform in a playoff series, multiple rounds against
That's
different
fair. That's
defenses.
fair.
So the jury's out on him. I like the guy, but I'm gonna take for now the established guy. I've seen Donovan Mitchell in playoff
The
series.
guy who got absolutely smoked in playoffs. That was a good
Yeah, he
point.
did, but he's also had great playoff series. So
Yes.
I
so
don't
you gotta
know.
give him his due.
I don't know what
What
SGA
was
could
he?
be in the.
He's
Scoring
got
like
that dog,
40
man. He's
something
got
against
that-
the Nuggets in the bubble.
Yeah, he averaged like
Went
40.
back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah, that's
Murray,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was nuts. I'll give him that. But I want to say that
Oh,
SGA had a better season than Tatum, and people forget about that.
Yes, he did. Let's
Nobody
get straight
wants to
to the
talk
nitty
about
gritty.
that.
Can we talk
Nobody wants to talk about that.
Can we say this?
SGA is a beast.
Am I going off topic here?
No, go ahead.
Is Jamal Murray the most underrated player in the league?
Yes. I've been saying this since the bubble.
He's one of them.
He's
Yeah.
been criticized.
I mean, he's been.
Bro came back from a torn ACL.
I think
thought he
in
was
the
gonna
bubble,
get traded, bro.
in the bubble, that dude was absolutely gobbled.
Yeah, but
Bro.
but I'm talking about since then. What have they been calling him for years? Bubble Murray.
No,
Bubble
understood.
Murray. It
But
doesn't
have they not
matter
been
what he
saying that
did.
to everybody
Yeah,
in the
they
bubble?
call it a
though?
fluke. Yeah, they call
Bro,
it a
I
fluke.
love Jokic.
No,
but
Jamal Murray's a beast.
Let's be honest right now, bro. Without Jamal Murray, bro, they might still be playing.
Yeah.
Like
No, they would
like-
be. The games there were multiple games versus the Lakers in the series that I thought the Lakers were gonna win, or we all thought the Lakers were done, and then Jamal Murray
like
turns into I don't even
just a
couldn't even
shot
tell you.
making,
Turns
bro.
into
His
Steph
shot
Curry
creating,
times
like
fucking Ray Allen. The dude
Like
was
the
just
guy-
pulling crazy shots.
he became forgotten about after the injury, dude.
Listen,
And obviously the bubble
but-
was huge, but like
I don't think he's the most underrated. I do think he's top 3 most underrated. I still personally believe that Damian Lillard is the most underrated still.
He's the most
I still
underrated of this
think it. I
generation
still
for
think
sure.
it.
I agree.
I still
Of
think
this
it. I don't know
generation, he
why
is.
this. I understand like he hasn't proved
underrated
much, bro,
though,
but
bro. He gets his
he does
flowers. He
not
just
get
doesn't make
en-
the
bro. He does
bro.
not
He just doesn't
get
make the
enough,
playoffs,
dude.
bro. He doesn't make the fucking playoffs.
Look at
though.
his
Yeah,
team
but even when he
constantly.
makes
But,
Listen,
but okay,
he's-
but that's also partly his fault though. Like I mean, he could have
Okay,
left. He
but-
took the money.
But do
and
you
good
or
for
do you
him.
not respect that he wants
I
to stay with that
respect
team?
it, but don't complain to me about how you don't feel. I'm not gonna feel bad for him because he's not winning.
Okay,
Like, a
but
lot of people
still,
saying I
but
feel
we're
bad
talking
for him.
basketball though. We're talking basketball. We're not talking about winning. We're talking about basketball. He's very underrated.
he is.
Because
He's the
Jamal
most
Murray
underrated.
I
has
don't know,
Jokic,
bro.
bro.
He's
As much as
considered
Jamal
a
Murray
top-
is underrated, he
Damian
has
Lillard
Jokic.
is considered a
He has
top.
Jokic.
He's a top 5 shooter of all time, like consensus. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't think he's
but-
underrated.
Okay, but every single
Like,
time
he's
he's
great.
every time he's brought up in that, people are like, "Whoa, somebody looks like they don't fit." That's what all the comments are, bro. Because people forget all the time how good he is until they play against him. Once they see
Maybe-
their team play him, they're like, "Holy shit, he's actually that."
Maybe it's recency bias, but I feel like I've seen Jamal Murray do it more in the playoffs than Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I mean,
And he does it.
has
I don't
He's
know
Jokic,
about
not
that.
as
He has
he's,
Nikola
he's
Jokic,
not
man,
he's
bro.
not
He
the
has
name that
Jokic.
Damian Lillard is.
Yeah, but
Damian
he's
Lillard,
got
when
Nikola
Damian
Jokic,
Lillard was
bro.
in the playoffs,
Yes,
and
the whole
when he was
defense
playing
is against him.
solo, when he was playing
Yes.
solo in the playoffs, bro, that was some impressive games.
Bro, Jamal
Yes.
Murray had games in this past series where he was playing. He felt like he was
Bro,
fucking playing
he
solo.
wasn't, dude. He had
Bro,
Jokic, and
Nikola
all
Jokic
averaged a
eyes were on
triple-double.
him, bro.
Yeah, with the
all
triple-double.
eyes.
Jokic was great. but
Every single
Murray went
eye.
on stretches,
Okay,
bro, where
hold on,
he
hold
was
on.
the
Okay,
entire.
yes, but is it
hold
not
on.
easier to do that when you have the guy
Yeah.
who should have won MVP on your
Listen.
team? Is it not easy to do that?
Nikola Jokic averaged a triple-double. Nikola Jokic helped keep them in the game at times when Jamal Murray, the first 3 quarters, was not there. They also have a shooter like Michael Porter Jr., who's a 6'10" Klay Thompson type of guy. Can get a shot off whenever he wants.
And they got
Bruce
somebody to
Brown was
defend everyone.
dominating.
Yep.
KCP didn't miss a 3-pointer. To say that Jamal Murray has done it more than Dame Lillard, who is literally the guy on his team, who has no defenders on his team, no second options on his team.
But I understand that, but he has. Like the bottom line is he has. Yeah, okay, his team is worse and he hasn't been given the opportunity. But he has Jamal Murray. He's going to the NBA Finals. He's the main. He's one of the main reasons.
Yeah,
He's
but
not the
the
main,
statement
but
you
yes,
said is
like
you've
second.
seen him do it more than Dame Lillard.
Because he has. What
He
do you
hasn't.
mean?
What do you
But is
mean?
it not
I haven't
easier
seen Dame
to do it
Lillard do
more?
that in the
Dame Lillard
conference
led
finals.
a team to a conference finals
And he
multiple times.
lost.
Yeah, but against the Warriors.
Okay, so I haven't seen him do it.
I saw
Oh,
Dame Lillard
dude,
walk into Denver and put
Look
up
at the difference in
55.
teams, dude. The Nuggets team. It's nobody says,
But all
"Oh,
I'm saying is,
Murray's
you
going to
say-
take down the Celtics or the Heat, whoever makes it." No, they say the Nuggets because the Nuggets as a whole are like ridiculously stacked throughout. Does it not make it easier for Jamal Murray when he knows that every single eye on the court is watching Jokic at all times?
And listen,
okay, but let's be fair here too. Like the narrative on the Nuggets going into the playoffs was they're a fraud number 1 seed. They're a fraud number 1 seed. They're not going to make a run to the title. So they made a run to the final and they sweep LeBron and
I
Lakers.
love Jamal Murray. I love Jamal Murray. He's Kentucky, and obviously I cheer for my Kentucky boys. Go blue. But all I'm saying is that he has it a lot easier than Dame, and that's the truth. He does.
Listen, Jamal Murray,
he's nasty. He is nasty. He's very nasty.
32.5 on 53%.
I know.
Okay, let's go
41% from 3.
Yes, we talked about how crazy. We talked about how crazy that was.
Triple. Let's go game by game. That
series was unbelievable. I agree.
Hold on. What full game performance did he put on? Each and every. I'm not trying to discredit him. I love Jamal Murray. But what full game performance did he put on where he was dominating from the first quarter to the fourth? A lot of these performances, he got hot late. He started 2 for 12 and then got hot late, and that's credit to him. Credit to him that he got hot, but it's different than being the guy, being Dame Lillard, and the whole offense predicates on you. Not only are you playmaking, you are the point guard, and you have to score 40 to win. You have no Nikola Jokic, who's the best player in the world.
You had CJ McCollum a few times.
That's the big. Listen, the same thing you're falling into is the same thing where people are saying, "Oh, Kyrie is better than Dame." Because of what he did next to LeBron, where he dominated in the playoffs, and they said, "Oh, I've seen Kyrie do it more than Dame Lillard in the playoffs." And then you move, years go by, and you see who's the better guy.
The statement was Dame Lillard is underrated. I'm not saying he's not good.
No, yeah, but you said you've seen Jamal Murray do it more. I think that's recency bias.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it is a little bit recency bias.
I 100% agree it is. He has it way easier when you have 4 people.
He has the best player in the world.
There might be 5 sometimes, but most of the time there's 4 people on the court watching Dame Lillard. They're watching Dame Lillard every single play. Is the defense? How are we going to guard him here? How are we going to guard him on the screen? We're going to double him. We're not even going to hedge. We're going to full out double him.
You think Damian Lillard is making some of those shots that Jamal Murray is making?
Yes.
In the mid-range, at the rim, finishing over AD?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You think he's making that?
Do you know who Damian Lillard is?
Bro, he's a generational shooter. He's a top.
Bro, he's not just a shooter, though.
So is Jamal Murray. Yeah, they're both great shooters.
Jamal Murray
is a better shot creator. He's a better shot creator.
He's a better
that is recency bias. Listen,
he's a better all-around overall scorer. He can score on 3 levels better than Dame Lillard.
That's what Dame Lillard does. He's not a shooter.
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, dude, his number one.
That's recency bias. That is so
recency bias. Okay, hold on.
What is he?
He's not just a shooter.
Damian Lillard known for? His range, his ability to shoot.
So is Jamal Murray.
What's Jamal Murray known for? That's literally what Jamal Murray's known for.
Mid-range, out of the post.
I watched Dame do that too.
There it is.
I watched Dame do that too.
No, he just
watched Dame do that too.
Hold up. You just admitted to recency bias. You said you watched Dame Lillard. When's the last time you watched Dame Lillard play in the playoffs?
I haven't watched him fucking since whenever. He hasn't been in the fucking playoffs, guys. That's not my fault. He's in shit.
So it's recency bias.
So it's recency bias. You just watched what Jamal Murray did.
Hold on. Okay, so I get the. There's only a minute left, by the way. But dude, this is the issue, bro. You can't even argue this shit because the fallback is
we are
his
doing
team sucks. His team isn't good. You can't judge.
We're talking skill.
Nobody on this earth would say Jamal Murray is more skill or like more of the 3 better offensive.
We just found one that said that.
Yeah, but like nobody else would say that. That's blasphemous.
Bro, that's recency bias.
Damian Lillard averaged 30.
I stand by it. I'll take Jamal Murray to score on all 3 levels over Damian
Lillard.
What would Damian do? Before this ends, you just brought up numbers. You just brought up fucking numbers. You said Damian Lillard average over 30. He's averaging over 30 because he's got nobody on his fucking team. Like you're saying,
he averaged 30 against Denver in the 2021 playoffs. He averaged 30. He scored 55 with 10 assists.
Exactly. And Jamal Murray's putting up 33
as the second option
with Jokic. Yes.
Jokic giving him off-ball screens. What would Dame do with Jokic?
Stop it. Jamal Murray is scoring ISO one-on-one just as much as he's scoring with Jokic.
He's not coming.
Hold up. I need to start another call because hold on.
That's
crazy.
That's actually fucking crazy.
Stop it, bro.
That's actually crazy.
C-Sword, what you just said is blasphemy.
That was the craziest you've ever said.
How is that blasphemy?
That was the